This is the lesson for 4.1, Solutions and Slope of Linear Equations. So, first, let's go over our learning targets. I can identify solutions and non-solutions of linear equations. So think about it in terms of our vocabulary definition of a solution. Okay, a solution is something that makes a true statement. Okay? And I can identify and graph slope for two variable linear equations. So that's going to be what we know and love. Okay? Notice we have a y and we have an x. Those are our two variables. Okay? Doesn't always look like that. For example, we're going to talk about x plus y equals 10 for just a moment. Think of some different values of x and y that would be solutions that would make this true. So if I said x was 7, you would say that y is 3. If I said x was 1, you would say y is 9. Okay? So, because 1 plus 9 is 10, 3 plus 7 is 10. Okay? Notice one variable affects the other, but when I said x was 7, y had to be 3. Okay? We can represent solutions in these 4 different ways. First, I've already started, is with ordered pairs or a table. So I can keep going. I can say, I can go on forever, I'm sure. But numerically, which means in an ordered pair or in a table. So that's my table. Remember, ordered pairs look like this: x comma y. So this would be 7 comma 3, or 1 comma 9, or 2 comma 8, and so on and so forth. The next way is graphically, or on our coordinate plane. So we have an x and a y. So that means, put it over here. So that means I have an x-axis and a y-axis, which we're used to. And I've got my points that match, right? We already did the points. So I can do 1, 9, and 2, 8, and 7, 3, and 0, 10. And that's just going to keep going, right? Like, you see a pattern here? So I can show solutions as a line. All points in the line are solutions, which is cool. Symbolically would be as an equation, which we already saw. So let's just write it one more time. X plus y equals 10. And then verbally, we'll see word problems later. So we're not going to worry about that right now. But we can see equations written out in words. Okay? I'm sure that's something you've done before, but we're not going to do it today. Okay? So here are ways that we can show solutions. Ordered pairs in a table, on a graph, as an equation. Okay? Here's what your homework looks like. For each equation, which points are solutions, if any of them? So I've got x and y. I've got x value and a y value. So we're going to put a little, so that our work doesn't get too jumbled. Okay. We're going to plug in x and y. So notice in my equation, I have an x and a y, and I'm going to put, where the y is, I'm going to put a 13. Plus 7 equals negative 5/4, parenthesis, where the x is, I'm going to put 8. And then I'm going to simplify. So I got 20 on that side. Negative 5 over 4 times 16. Remember, you can just put these two sides in your calculator. We can't put equal signs in, so you'd have to do each side separately if you're doing it in your calculator. But what I get from this is I get 20 equals negative 20. 20 equals negative 20? Nope. So that's not true. That one would not work. On Delta Math, I would say, nope, not true. Okay. Oof, we ran out of room because I wrote a little too big. What about the other point? We'll write it off to the side here. Got negative 7 plus 7 equals negative 5 over 4, negative 8 plus 8. And if I simplify that, I get 0 equals 0. Does 0 equal 0? Absolutely yes. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time, and then you're going to do it on your own. So remember, x value, y value, that's how ordered pairs are written. Y value is 13 equals 5 over 4. Instead of x, I'm going to put 8. And then I'm going to simplify. So this can just all go on my calculator. And when I put that in my calculator, I get 13 equals 13, which is totally true. So this one works. What about negative 8, negative 7? I've got negative 7 equals 5 over 4, negative 8 plus 3. So notice I'm plugging in x's and y's where there's x's and y's. Okay? Nothing too crazy. Just be aware of where my numbers are coming from. Okay? Negative 8, negative 7. Negative 8, negative 7. X and y. Okay? When I simplify this, I get negative 7 equals negative 7, which is true. So they both worked. That was nice. You guys take a minute for yourself and try out the last one. Okay, when we plug them in, we get 0 plus 4 equals 4, 2 plus 0. And we get 4 equals 8, which is not true. And we get negative 4 plus 4 equals 4. 1 plus 0. We get 0 equals 4, which is also not true. So neither of these would work. Okay, flip your page. Okay, that was solutions. We're halfway done. Now we're doing slope. So slope has many different names. We like slope. We also like rate of change. Okay, the steepness of the line describes how fast the y value changes as the x value increases. So as I go this way on my x-axis, what happens to the y? What happens? Does it go up or down? Okay, again, we can represent slope in 4 different ways. The first way is graphically, which you'll see on your homework. You'll have to find the slope this way. Remember, rise over run. So that means I'm going to find 2 whole number points, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 down. So 3 down would be negative, right? And then 2 to the right. To the right is positive. So my rise, my up and down, over my run. just like that. So we just count on the graph. Kind of cool. Numerically, with ordered pairs or a table, what we use here is we use the slope formula. We have seen the slope formula before, but it's been a little bit, so let's talk. We have seen this notation. My x2s and y2s and x1s and y1s. That's just saying that there's more than one point happening. Okay? So how it's going to go is, what's the slope of the line that contains these points? Cool thing is I get to pick any 2 points that I want. I can pick the top and the third one. I can pick the top and the bottom. I can pick both of the ones in the middle. I'm going to end up getting the same answer, which is kind of cool. But for the sake of this example, we're going to use these two. And this is going to be x1, y1, because it's my first. This is going to be x2, y2, because it's my second point. Okay, and then from there we're just plugging stuff in. So y2 is 5 minus y1 is 2 over x2, which is negative 2, minus x1, which is negative 3. When I plug that into my calculator, I get a slope of 3. Okay? You try it now with these 2 points. I'll give you a moment. Okay, what ends up happening is 5 minus 8 over negative 2 plus negative 2 minus negative 1, excuse me, equals negative 3 over negative 1, which still equals 3, which is awesome. Okay. Symbolically, slope can be written symbolically as an equation. We just saw it. That's the slope formula. So let's write it one more time. And last, verbally, we can describe the slope with words. Okay. So, electric bikes rent for $4 plus $1.50 per hour. My rate of change is going to be what's happening, like what's the change. Every hour, I am adding another $1.50. So, what I would say here is 150 is my slope, because that's what's happening, that's what's changing each time, right? $4 is, it's just there. But the $1.50 per hour, that's changing each hour. Okay, so that's going to be my slope. And we've already done this, but this is the rest of your homework. Okay, you need to be able to find the slope between 2 points, which is, let's highlight it, your slope formula. Okay, so as the points come, fill in the answers. First question is 3, 0, and 3, negative 3. Okay, remember, label your points and then plug them into the formula. Okay, this one's undefined. This is because we get 0 on the bottom. So what happens is we get 0 minus negative 3 over 3 minus 3, which simplifies to 3 over 0. When we get 0 on the bottom, that gives us an error in the calculator, and that error is called undefined. Okay, next one. Negative 3, 3, and 0, 3. So I just switched it up on you a little. Okay, what happens is we get 3 minus 3 over negative 3 minus 0, and that gets us 0 over negative 3, which doesn't give us an error because the 0 was on top this time. The slope is just 0. And lastly, a normal-ish one. So one more time. Okay, 5, 7, and 4, 2. We get 5. Okay. Try out the homework. Thank you.